we hear a lot about this phrase net zero, which is basically getting to a stage where any greenhouse gases we emit, like carbon dioxide, were sequestering the same amount. So basically, there's no net increase in greenhouse gases, so net zero. And we're seeing loads of companies like Hermione was saying make commitments, including getting to net zero emissions, and the same with the universities. So what's been brilliant, I suppose, as part of that is targets, so commitments to hit net zero, but then follow through with the hard work in terms of how you get there. What's the pathway to cut emissions radically and to get to that stage? And so for my university, it's one of those things where it would have been really worrying if we hadn't done that. But actually, it's great that we have, and that the students and the staff are really pushing for it, and that our kind of senior leadership team see this as a absolutely fundamental priority for us, and actually asking hard questions about the fact we are an international university. We have students who fly from all over the world to the university, and those emissions are on us. They're making those flights to come and study at Edinburgh. So we as a university actually have responsibility for the climate impact of that. And so looking at how we can actually sequester those emissions, how we can cut our emissions of how we run our buildings, how we travel, what we demand of our academics as well in terms of business travel and flights and emissions. So it's great to see those questions asked, and actually, the action is obviously the crucial thing, and we're starting to see that. There's been loads of words, as you'd expect, over the last 10, 15 years on climate action across society, and the words are now everywhere in terms of the commitments, but actually through organisations like Nation, but all these institutions themselves, things on the ground in terms of let's reduce the energy, let's actually change the lighting to LED, let's look at our transport policy and say, if you're going to fly, then you need to really justify that and say why you can't do what we're doing today, why can't you have that meeting virtually, why can't you take the train like Hermione's been doing, which is extra effort, but actually, cuts emissions, and that's where we've got to be.